Good evening from the Eyewitness News Weather Center. Meteorologist Jeff Smith as we track a winter storm, not a major storm by any means, but in a winter where we haven't had much, it is pretty significant, and roads are definitely pretty treacherous out there. A live look outside of our studios on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and you can see the roads are at least slushy and in some cases snow covered, especially along sidewalks. We had a heavier band of snow move on through early this afternoon, then a lull in the action, and now some steadier snow has re-entered the area, so you definitely got to take it easy out there tonight. Another live look over toward lower Manhattan from Brooklyn. You see the visibility pretty low. It has been down to about a half a mile at times. Visibility, the indicator of how heavy the snow is. Half-mile visibility means moderate snowfall. Any lower than that can indicate heavy snowfall. And another shot, and this is really amazing if you think about it, there's Central Park, the same Central Park that was up near 70 degrees last weekend, both days of last weekend. Now we're talking about accumulating snowfall, and there's been at least an inch in and around parts of New York City, even upwards of a couple inches well off to the north and west. And finally, another live look at LaGuardia Airport right now. A lot of snow-covered runways out there, so I would highly encourage you to call ahead if you're planning on traveling out by air. So here's a look right now at that temperature outside. Still 28 degrees, well below freezing, so that snowfall can accumulate, especially on untreated surfaces out there. 27 at LaGuardia right now. One thing we've noticed, JFK Airport has actually gone all the way up to 32, so you're up to the freezing mark right along the south shore here of Jamaica Bay, courtesy of a south wind. Very rare to get accumulating snowfall on a wind coming in from the south, but that's exactly what we're doing today, and it's because we started off so cold. You're 17 right now, Monticello. Still some very cold air north and west. 21 at Newburgh, 23 at Sussex. So here are your headlines. Snow will last into the early part of the evening. We probably have another 3 or 4 hours of snowfall left. I think it ends as a mix or some rain, New York City and coastal areas, and we'll start watching that rain snow line kind of creeping up the coast during the next couple of hours. Staying as mostly snow north and west, maybe mixing with some ice pellets in those areas, and the precipitation winding down from west to east after about 9 p.m. By midnight tonight, everything's pretty much gone. More specifically, the steady precipitation winding down by around 8 o'clock over central parts of New Jersey and up through the Poconos and Catskills, again between 8 and 9 in New York City, maybe taking until about 10 p.m. to wind down over eastern parts of Long Island. Here are the alerts we have in effect right now. Winter weather advisories basically for much of the area from New York City and Long Island and points north and west, including much of the northern half of New Jersey, right through 1 o'clock in the morning. So there was that little break that we had in the snowfall. Now moving on to eastern parts of Long Island. Now steadier snowfall kind of has re-entered the area from the west and the south. One thing we're noticing, though, Philadelphia has changed over to freezing rain, and there's some of that mixing starting to sneak into southern parts of New Jersey as well. So we're going to gradually see the snow mixing with and changing over to some sleet, freezing rain, and eventually rainfall south of New York City and east of New York City, and then eventually getting into the city itself right before ending. But for the majority of this system, it's actually going to be a snowfall event, even here in the city, and definitely areas off to the north and west. Snowfall reports so far, we've had up to 2.1 inches. That's Callicoon. That's up in Sullivan County. Even down the Jersey Shore, though, Spring Lake Heights as of 4:15 reporting 1 inch of snowfall. We're going to track it for you on the Futurecast. 7 o'clock this evening. Look at the temperature in the city, in Central Park, getting up to 34 by that point. So we're above freezing. The snowfall by then should have a tough time accumulating. So if we're going to get accumulating snow, it's basically between now and 7 o'clock. Next couple of hours is our opportunity to get some accumulating snow in the city. And then that chance really fades away as those temperatures rise up to above the freezing mark. Still might be snowing, but would be having a tough time accumulating. North and west of the city remaining below freezing well into the evening hours. By 9 p.m., there's that precipitation coming to an end, and it may end as a touch of rain or drizzle in and around the city and definitely along the coast and down the Jersey Shore. North and west, you continue to get some flakes flying. Newburgh and Sussex still below freezing, but it may be just above freezing in the White Plains area by 9 o'clock. In temperatures, if anything, they continue rising a little bit overnight. You'd have to head way north and west of the city to stay below freezing overnight tonight. But I do want to caution you, if you get any melting, it can refreeze as we head into early tomorrow morning in those areas north and west. Now, with those places north of the city staying below freezing, that's your best chance of getting the highest snowfall totals. And right now we have that area in 3 to 6 inches, basically along and north and west of I-287, north of the Tappan Zee Bridge. It's 1 to 3 inches in and around New York City, on to western parts of Long Island, especially the north shore of Nassau and Suffolk, and only about a coating to an inch down over parts of Monmouth and Ocean counties in New Jersey with a quicker changeover in those areas. So here's your AccuWeather forecast for tonight. What becomes a wintry mix of snow, sleet, and rain will be ending during the early to middle part of the evening. 34 will be your temperature overnight, so it will rise above freezing. Windy and chilly tomorrow, times of clouds and sun, about 41. Could be a late day flurry north and west. We're brisk and cold for tomorrow night, down to about 22. And at least the early part of next week, in the wake of this system, will be cold, according to our pattern on long-range guidance here, as a trough digs into the northeastern part of the country. But that may not last too long. Some milder air may be in the works for later on in the week, and we'll detail that in your AccuWeather 7-day forecast coming up on Eyewitness News after the NBA game. In the meantime, you can download the ABC 7NY News app on your iPhone or your Android device, and you can contact me on social media at Jeff Smith ABC 7 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But we'll see you after the NBA game with the latest on this storm. I'll be actually reporting from outside of our studios on the sidewalk to tell you about conditions in and around New York City, and we'll have some other reports from around the region as well. Again, have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you in a little while.